What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 news update. So today is of course Saturday, and this day we're going to be getting 10 brand new character reveals, plus a brand new trailer, and potentially more. But the crazy thing is, we've got this to talk about first. We've got new gameplay, new characters, new features, tons of crazy things to talk about the Chronopolis HUB World. I mean, there's so much news coming out for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, it's insane. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first up, let's talk about a little update on the character creator. So Stephen Sharples has recently said that you can now colour each of the arm and leg pieces as different colours. So I guess that means you could have a red left arm and a green right arm. So that's pretty cool. But I've been getting some questions from people asking if you can actually change the colour of decals and things like that. Sadly not. You can only change the colour of blank torsos. So you could have an orange, torso, a blue arm, and a green right arm. Something like that. You can really mix and match it. So to be honest with you, I'm not really that bothered about the fact that you can't change the decals and everything, because this is easily the most detailed character creator they've ever created. I wasn't expecting it to be this detailed. When they said you could, make your characters OP and things like that, that's great. But the fact that you can, change every little piece one by one individually is insane. The possibilities with this character creator are amazing, and I just can't wait to see what everyone creates with it. Next up, we're going to talk about the open hub world of Chronopolis. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is an absolutely astonishing map. I mean, this hub world is easily the best they've ever created. It's absolutely massive, and the variety of areas in it is just insane. For example, we've got medieval England. We see in the gameplay, we see Garrett Castle. It's raining with dark and gloomy skies, and that's completely different to the rest of the map, which have their own weather and, lighting and everything. It's crazy. The medieval section of Chronopolis definitely looks to be a pretty decent size as well, so it's not just that castle. When they actually go there, if you watch as they're swinging around, you can see there's a lot more to that part of the map that we haven't seen yet. And I mean, I really hope Spider-Man 1602 is in this game, because being able to run around that area as that Spider-Man would be so much fun. Next up, we have 2099 New York City, and this looks absolutely massive. I think it might be one of the biggest parts of the map that I've seen so far, which I'm really happy about, because I've always wanted an open world Marvel 2099 video game, and we're practically getting that with LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, which is really, really exciting. I love this map especially because of how bright and colourful it is. It just looks so futuristic. Obviously, it's 2099, but still, it looks really, really nice. You can see there's these really cool looking blue roads, and those are actually what the normal vehicles will drive around on, while there's also vehicles that have a path that are flying around in the sky. And you'll actually see in the gameplay, they fly around the whole map, not just 2099. You'll see them fly through Noir and Sakaar and Egypt and all sorts of places. It's really, really cool. I'm loving this gameplay and the look of Chronopolis right now, because it really does feel like a living, breathing city, because you've got a massive variety of different pedestrians walking the streets, and an even cooler variety of vehicles, like modern 1930s and futuristic vehicles. I think I even saw a horse in Wakanda, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But it'd be really cool if there's like camels in Egypt and horses in medieval England that you can actually ride around on. That would be really nice. But so far, Chronopolis looks incredible. Here we see Sakaar, which looks extremely cool, and I love the fact that it has a massive volcano. That looks really nice, and the attention to detail in this area particularly is really impressive, because it's very accurate to what we actually see in the Planet Hulk animated movie, which is really nice. Hopefully we can actually go into that arena and just fight opponents all day, because that would be so much fun, and I'd probably never leave it, because just being able to fight multiple enemies for as long as you want would be really nice. Also, if you look here, we can actually see what looks to be classic Hulk with the purple pants. I could be wrong, but that's the only character I can kind of think of what is down there. It might be one of Hulk's sons. Obviously, this is Planet Hulk, so we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, we've got Sakaar. There's going to be a lot of Hulks in this game, which is very, very exciting. Lastly, for the Chronopolis HUB World news, we have to talk about the swamp. Now, in one of my previous videos, I talked about how when I think of swamps and Marvel, I instantly think of Man-Thing. And you can see from this image right here that that swamp has actually been changed to the name Man-Thing Swamp. So there you go. Man-Thing is confirmed to be in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, and obviously he'll be playable as well, which is really, really exciting. But I think it's also exciting because if you look at the actual Chronopolis HUB World, you can see that pretty much every area is part of the story. So I guess that means we will run into Man-Thing in his swamp at some point in the story of LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2. Very, very exciting. Moving on, we now need to talk about vehicle spawning. So it looks like you can now actually spawn in vehicles anywhere in the map without having to go to a specific vehicle terminal, which is really exciting because this feature was in the PlayStation Vita version of LEGO Marvel's Avengers. You could basically just choose a vehicle and it would appear in the world. You wouldn't have to go to a specific place to get that vehicle. So if they're putting that in this game as well, then that's a great addition because it'll really save time on people that want to choose the vehicles in the game. Now, we only saw 2 vehicles in this live stream, one of which was Crossbones' truck, which I guess confirms Crossbones is going to be in the game, which is pretty cool. Hopefully he'll be more like how he was in Captain America Civil War, because while that design was in LEGO Marvel's Avengers in a DLC pack, all he had was a gun. So it'd be really cool if this time around he actually has the gloves that he had in Captain America Civil War and he can actually fight like how he fought Cap in that movie. That would be really cool. The other vehicle we see is Black Panther's jet, which looks really, really nice. And what I especially love is when you actually pick a vehicle, you get to see it being built. That is really impressive. Moving on, we now need to talk about character abilities. Now, while we couldn't really see this, it was kind of on the screen, but it was not full screen at the time. They basically showcased that Spider-Gwen, when you take selfies, you can now have filters. Now, I did actually talk about that in one of my previous videos, so it's really great to see that they've added filters later on. There's some pretty cool choices in there, so taking selfies in this game is probably going to be quite a lot of fun. Here we have some new gameplay of Medusa, and she has a pretty cool new attack that we didn't see at E3 2017. She basically spins around and everything her hair hits, it destroys, which is pretty cool. And also, if you look very carefully a split second, you'll see that what looks to be a glide ability. So I guess Medusa can also glide with her hair as well. Weird, but pretty cool. Here we get another really nice look at Lockjaw's abilities. And one of the things that they talked about but didn't show at E3 2017 was his teleportation ability. And at San Diego Comic-Con, they did actually show it, which is pretty cool. It kind of looks to me like a sprint boost, so like he's running along and then he charges ahead a little bit and he teleports to the other part of where he was running to, something like that. I mean, who knows, maybe we'll have more control over it when the actual game comes out, but it's cool. I like how we can actually teleport, and Arthur Parsons was asked if you can actually teleport with other characters, so Lockjaw can take other characters along with him when he teleports, like what we saw in the Inhumans IMAX trailers, and apparently you can. Now, we haven't seen that yet, so we'll have to wait and see, but it'd be really cool if he can actually do that with the Inhumans especially. Next up, we need to talk about Howard the Duck. Now, while Howard's appearance is clearly based on his MCU design, his special move involves him playing his guitar, which is actually a reference to the ending of the 1986 Howard the Duck movie, which is of course not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all, but still nice to know that they're not afraid to go back to Howard's past, which is a pretty dark past, let's be honest. And the last character that we need to showcase in the gameplay is, of course, Carnom. Carnom absolutely blew me away in this gameplay. I cannot believe the animations this character has. I mean, he can, of course, super jump, which you see in the gameplay, and he has these absolutely jaw-dropping web-swinging animations, and his tongue moves around when he swings, and at some points, he actually turns and looks at the camera, which I absolutely love, because it reminds me of how goofy Venom was in the PS1 Spider-Man games, which I always found absolutely hilarious. And I know some people were actually worried because we hadn't seen any wall crawling in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 yet, but yep, it's absolutely still there, returning of course from LEGO Marvel's Avengers, and it still looks great. And seeing Carnom in action, I mean, it makes me really hope that they're gonna add other Spider-Man and symbiote characters at that size. You know, seeing a big figure swing around is so cool, especially with those really impressive animations. Hopefully we get big figure Venom, maybe anti-Venom, and hopefully I would really love this Man Spider. I mean, they would all look incredible. Big figures swinging around, man. It would look so cool. Now, before we move on to the character roster, I just have to ask you all, do you know who these two characters are? Because I certainly do not. I've looked all over the place on the Marvel wiki pages and everything, and I just can't find out anything on these two characters. So that's why I featured it in this video, because I want to see if the people that watch this video know who these two characters are. And if you do have any idea of who they are, please let me know in the comment section below, because I would really appreciate it. And last but most certainly not least, the final thing we need to talk about is, of course, the character roster. Now, the last time I showed a character roster, which was, of course, course, during E3 2017, a lot of people were pretty much terrified by what they saw because they thought the roster was small, they didn't think there was many characters, but like I said last time, please don't worry about this roster. It's nowhere near finished. Characters and costumes will be moved around a lot before launch, and by the time the game actually comes out, the roster will actually grow and the layout will be completely different, so please do not worry. Now then, let's talk about the characters that we can see in the grid. So I'll mention all the characters that we've already talked about, and then I'll go into detail on the new characters. So we've got Agent Venom, Black Panther, we've got two of the Black Knights, MCU Black Widow, Captain America, Wild West Captain America, Captain Marvel, both masked and unmasked. Nice to know that both of those versions are in the game. We've got Carnom, which I've already said I'm blown away by. Can't wait to play as him. We've got Cosmo the Spacedog. I'm so glad Cosmo's in this game. I was really hoping he would be. I had a feeling he would because TT Games love to put the animal characters in like Lockjaw, so great to see Cosmo. Can't wait to team him up with Rocket in this game. We got Dr. Octopus, MCU Doctor Strange, MCU Drax the Destroyer. We've got, now this character, I have no idea who he is, but his name is Forbush Man, and I can't take credit for finding that name. Big shout out to my good friend Simeon, aka Dreagle, on Twitter. He is the one that found that name. I have no idea who that character is, but there you go. Forbush Man is in the game. We've also got MCU Gamora, Groot, and Baby Groot. Again, this is another character that I have to give a big shout out to Simeon for finding because I have no idea who this is, but his name is Greenskyn Smashtroll. Yeah, if you have any idea who that character is, let me know in the comment section below because I would love to hear, you know, some details about who this character is. We've also got Gwenpool, which is pretty cool. So that looks like, I guess Francesco's theory about pink bricks was correct, which is nice. Can't wait to see what Gwenpool can do in this game. We've also got Howard the Duck and Iron Duck, Kingpin, Lockjaw, Medusa, MODOK, M'Baku, Mysterio, MCU Rocket Raccoon, She-Hulk, Spider-Gwen. Now, this is interesting. If you actually look carefully in the grid, you can see that she looks to have another costume. So what could that be? Well, my guesses are either Gwen Stacy, because I always love it when they let the Spider-Man characters be able to transform into their secret identities, or, what will be really up to date with Marvel Comics, Venom. Now that would be pretty cool. We also see Spider-Man Homecoming, which also looks to have another costume. Could just be the homemade suit, which was already confirmed last week, but hopefully we can play as MCU Peter Parker, because that would be really, really cool. We've also got Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man Noir, Star-Lord, who also looks to have another costume. Could be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 design, or maybe classic costume. I've heard a lot of people want classic Guardians in the game, so maybe TT Games are adding them. We'll just have to wait and see. We've also got Throg, classic Vulture, and Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm so glad that Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming is in this game because Michael Keaton absolutely killed it in that role. He was absolutely fantastic, and he's probably my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe villain to date. So I can't wait to play as all these characters in this incredible game. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Now remember, this is a lot of news, but we're not stopping there. Tonight, we're going to be getting 10 brand new character reveals, plus a brand new trailer. So of course, there will be another news update after this one, and it'll probably be a big one. Anyway guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.